The following is a production of WCMP Sports. It's time for high school basketball action here on WCMP. Tonight we'll see the Pine City Dragons finishing off the regular season against the Esko Eskimos. Tip-off is coming your way shortly, but now we send it to the court for the pregame. And welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to tonight's broadcast of high school basketball here on WCMP. I, of course, am Ethan Game Day Gilman, and I'll be bringing you all the action from tonight's matchup, of course, between the Eskimos of Esko and the Dragons here of Pine City. It's the regular season finale here for the Pine City Dragons, and they are hoping to end the season on a high note. Not going to be easy, though, as this Esko team, pretty darn good, if I do say so myself. They've only got a 20-3 record, so they're a pretty good team. They will end their season, though, on Friday down at Brooklyn Center against another Class AA opponent. But Esko, again, a very good team, and they are one of the better teams in the state. They're ranked in the top 10 of Class 2A, and again, at 20-3, not real surprising that they are ranked in the top 10, even the top 5. So tonight we're going to see a very good Esko team taking on your Pine City Dragons. And what an opportunity, though, for the Dragons to get a great competition matchup before the playoffs begin. So that way they will kind of see the teams that they'll be facing off in the playoffs against. And This Section 6 AA is very, very competitive. There are a lot of crazy good teams in this section, and a game like this, I think, is a good one right before playoffs, just because, again, you're going to play a team in Esko that is the favorite to go to state out of Section 7 AA, and to play a team like this, you'll get to see basically a team you'll probably see first round of the playoffs, just because they are that good, and the section the Dragons play in is just that competitive. It's crazy how competitive that section is, just because of the fact that the Dragons in Section 6 AA, they've got a plethora of teams who are in the top 10, 20 of the state. I mean, the top 5 teams really all could seriously make a run at state, and we could even stretch that out and go, the top 7 teams could even stretch and make a run at state. It is just crazy the talent that this section holds. Of course, you've got the number 2 team in the state in Albany in the section as well, who's 23-1 and 12-0 in Section 6 AA play. So very good squads here in this section, and it doesn't get any easier for Pine City. But what a matchup here for Pine City this evening against the Esko Eskimos. It should be a good one as we take a look over at the Section 7 AA standings where Esko plays. They are number 5 in the state of Class AA, but right behind them is Pequot Lakes at number 6 at 19-5. So they are right there with Pequot Lakes and Esko, but it looks like Esko should finish on top of this section. They are the 3rd best offense in that section, scoring about 77 points per game. You've got 2 Harbors, who is scoring 79 points per game, and Rockridge, who's scoring 78.5 points per game. So pretty high-flying offenses there in Section 7 AA, but the defenses are very good as well. And Esko, 2 Harbors, and Rockridge all have some of the top defenses as well as offenses in the section. So there's no lack of talent in that section either for Esko, but again, 23 on the year, 8-1 in the section. So it'll be interesting to see how it all plays out, because Pequot Lakes is 11-0, and the team below them is also undefeated in the section. They're 4-0 in their conference, which is the Polar League Big. They start out a very good start to the season. They got out to 7 straight wins before losing 2 of their 3 games to Perham and Maple Grove. And as we take a look at those 2 teams, Maple Grove plays in Class 4A, but Perham is a top 10 team in Class AA. So not bad teams to lose to if you're asking me, but Maple Grove, another top 20 team, as is Perham. So they've lost to some really darn good teams. And then their last loss was to Pequot Lakes, the other team who's right behind them in the section. So they lost to them by 2 points in that section matchup. So when we take a look at that, that could come and play a factor as we move along towards the end of the season for Esko. It'll be interesting to see how that's going to shake things up in their section standings and see if it will shake it up at all. Then they go down to Brooklyn Center to take on the Centaurs for their final game of the regular season on Friday. Should be interesting. They are, of course, the number 1 team in their section. Their playoffs start March 7th, so what is that, next Tuesday, I believe. And as the number 1 team, well, they would host the last team in their section. So it'll be interesting to see how it shapes out. Will they get the 1 seed? Will they get the 2 seed? And again, for seeding-wise, it really doesn't matter 1 through 8 what you get. You're going to get a home game. It just matters who you'll play, I guess. But at that point in time, I think you're so highly favored that you're not too worried about the seeding. Of course, we've seen plenty of upsets happen before, so it's not that anyone is not susceptible to taking an upset in round 1, but the way Esko is right now, they don't seem like they'll get an upset in round 1, but we'll have to wait and see. But this Esko team, very talented front to back. They've got a lot of good players. They've actually got a young man who's being highly recruited for football. In fact, our rivals over there in Wisconsin are trying to nab him at safety. That's McCoy Parichin, and I got to watch him play football during the fall against Pine City. Of course, it wasn't the game Pine City had hoped for, but I got to watch him play football, and man, it was insane to watch. He's a very, very good player football-wise, and this Esko team has a lot of guys who can dunk the basketball, so it'll be interesting to see their height and what they can do with that coming in, and if they have that three-point shooting ability. I'm sure they do, but I don't know because I haven't had the option or the availability to watch them at all. So it'll be interesting to see what this team looks like. Of course, you're not this good as the Esko Eskimos are without having the ability to shoot the 3 in the basketball game. For the Pine City Dragons, they're trying to finish up the season with a win and trying to finish at 14-12. And for them, it'll be a tough one, but it'll certainly be a fun one. And again, a lot on the line here for Pine City, as a win here today, it could very well push them into a home playoff game with a team much like Esko, who is top 10 in the state. So if they were to get a win here this evening, it could very well push them top 10 into the home playoff category. As we take a look at Pine City right now, they're 11th. I had to take a moment to count there. They're 11th in the section behind Foley and Spectrum. Now, they did beat Spectrum, who is 9th, who's just on the cusp of going on the road. So if they could get a win here tonight, that might push them into Melrose spot where, hey, maybe could get a home playoff game, but a win here tonight would certainly push them up over Foley for that 10th spot, and then they would be battling with Spectrum for that 9th spot, which they got the win over them, so maybe, just maybe, that would help their case to be pushed into that 8th spot for a home playoff game. But again, we will have to wait and see. If you listen to that game on Saturday when Malacca was here in Pine City, we talked about how Malacca was 5th in the section, and all of a sudden their girls team, after that loss to Pine City, fell all the way down to 8th by the time the seedings were released. So a lot of the crazy things can happen when they seed these brackets and these sections. So it's not that Pine City is locked into that 11th spot. They could move up, they could move down. There's a lot that goes into it for, the section seedings, and we'll have to wait and see ourselves to see where Pine City ends up. But if they do go on the road, as I mentioned, they're the 11th seed, so they would be going on the road. And as we take a look at their section bracket, they would go to the number 6 team in this section, and my computer decides to freak out, but they would go to the number 6 team in the section, and I'm not sure who that is right now as we're trying to take a look. But yeah, so they would be on the road in the first game of section play. And no matter where they go, we will be there round one to watch them play. Their playoffs, by the way, start March 9th. So next Thursday, they will find out. Probably before then, I'm guessing probably Monday. They'll find out who they'll play, when, and where will the Dragons. But again, they're 11th, and they would go to the number 6 team, which is Sauk Center. So they would get to play over in Sauk Center past St. Cloud. So that would be an interesting matchup as well. We're just about wrapped up with our pregame warm-ups. We'll now get our national anthem and our starting lineups, and we'll take a commercial break, and then when we come back, we'll be ready for the start of this game here inside Pine City High School, where the Dragons are hosting the Esko Eskimos. You're listening to Boys Basketball 106.5 FM AM 1350.
This
WCMP.
high school sports season, Wellia Health wants to remind you that they want to help your athletes stay in the game. Sports medicine services are available at every Wellia Health campus. Whether it's the young athlete, the weekend warrior, or the accomplished athlete, injuries can happen. Get back in the game by calling the sports medicine experts at Wellia Health, 320-679-1313. Wellia Health. Live life well.
Hey, I'm Chad Greenway. When I was playing, I loved chasing down running backs. Well, you shouldn't have to chase your bank around when you're buying a home. Franzen Bank and Trust Mortgage Consultants will be with you stride for stride, like a linebacker on a running back, from pre-approval to closing and beyond. Let Franzen Bank guide you through the mortgage process. Learn more at franzenbank.com/getThere. Franzen Bank and Trust. Real people, real results. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Save now, plow now. Save now, mow later. The word to remember is save at Minnesota Equipment. End of the snow season means savings on all in-stock snow blowers. Top brands like Ariens and Toro. And if you're a get-a-jump-on-things type of person, get your new mower now and save before the grass starts growing. John Deere, Gravely, Toro, and more. Minnesota Equipment has the machines, experience, and inventory to help you get the job done in any season. Save now at Minnesota Equipment.
A&W Restaurant Pine City is still making fresh root beer. That signature item since 1919. It's still made fresh and on-site with real cane sugar and a blend of secret ingredients. It doesn't get any better than this. Their world-renowned A&W root beer is a classic treat, and they can top it off with creamy vanilla soft serve to be known as the famous A&W root beer float. Now that's smooth, tasty, and refreshing. An American iconic A&W root beer float. It never tasted so good. A&W Restaurant Pine City. Come grab your root beer float today.
Your tomorrow is important to Pine Insurance Agency and Grinnell Mutual. That's why you can trust us to provide you with personalized service and a full range of insurance coverages you can count on. We'll be there when you need us so you can trust in tomorrow. For all your insurance needs, contact Pine Insurance Agency, your local Grinnell Mutual agent at pineagency.us today. Trust in Tomorrow is a registered trademark of Grinnell Mutual Reinsurance Company.
Back here on WCMP 106.5 FM AM 1350 WCMP. The starting lineups here for the Esko Eskimos, who are wearing their white away uniforms with the blue letters and numbers outlined in yellow. Head coached by Derek Anderson. It'll be number 2, Carter Zazulka. Number 3, McCoy Parrish. Number 3, Sam Haugen. Number 15, Dalton Spindler. And number 20, Quinn Berger. On the other side for your Pine City Dragons, head coached by Kyle Allen, wearing their home green uniforms. White letters and numbers outlined in black. It'll be number 14, Isaiah Haas. Number 23, Luke Wilson. Number 24, Lamont Sidney. And we're being back into the starting lineups here after being injured and having to kind of work his way back into it is Mason Charles, number 31. And then number 32, Riley Cummings. 18 minutes are up on that Embrace Orthodontics scoreboard. Embrace Orthodontics custom braces or Invisalign with 3 locations in Pine City, Lindstrom, and Cambridge. EmbraceMN.com. We're just about set here for action between these two teams. It's the final home game and regular season game for Pine City of the season here tonight, and they will be looking for a win to end the season 14-12 and try and get themselves a possible home game with a win. I don't know, it would be tough, but I think it's possible. And we are set for tip-off, and that goes through a couple of hands, but it's taken by the Dragons. Luke Wilson, he finds a lane inside and drops it in beautifully for two, and a quick two for Pine City. Must be the new haircuts out there. They've got a couple of the senior starters with some shaved heads and wearing the white headbands. Must be feeling pretty quick with the new dues, as that shot is no good. Miss. It's Riley Cummings with the rebound. Now that ball is going to be out of bounds. Last touch by the Dragons. So we'll go back to Esko. Unfortunately there for Pine City. That was a prime opportunity to go up 2 possessions early on. But a turnover gives it right back to the Eskimos as Spindler has it. Spindler gives it off to Berger, and Berger will stand. He'll give it off to Parrish. Parrish goes far side to Spindler. Goes top the key now to Haugen. Haugen gives it off here to Berger. He looks for 3, and that's through. I mean, that was silky smooth. That went through the net, and I doubt it made a noise. Luke Wilson takes it up the court here for Pine City. Pauses. They're being very patient on offense right now. Luke Wilson looking to drive inside. A nice drive, just a little too much on that one as McCoy Parrish gets the rebound quickly up the court. Parrish will hand it off to Berger. Berger will take the jump back 2. It's no good. Rebounded by Spindler. And they'll pass the ball around. It's in the hands of Haugen now, and Haugen looks to Spindler. He tries to drive, gives it off to Haugen. Haugen backs it out to Parrish. Parrish couldn't grab it cleanly, but he picks it up. Left-handed 3 is no good. Rebounded again by Haugen. He looks to drive inside, backs it out now to Spindler on the far side. Top the key to Berger. No good. And this time Isaiah Haas grabs the rebound here for Pine City. Lamont Sidney will take it up the court, looking to drive inside himself, and looks like they're going to get a foul here on Esko, and that one is going to go against Haugen. His first, team's first. Wilson will get the deep inbound to Isaiah Haas. Now looking to Lamont Sidney on the near side for 3. That's no good. And the rebound up for grabs. It's Isaiah Haas who manages to pick it up. He'll bounce pass to Luke Wilson. Now to Mason Charles. Nearly a foul there on the Eskimos, but Charles battles through. Wilson, nice move, and he'll drive inside. He's fouled, and this will be interesting. Will they call this one a shooting foul, or is it going to be on the floor? Looks like he will go to the free throw line. And I believe they're going to call this one on Carter Zizulka. They will. It'll be his first and the team's second. They say it was on the floor, so they're not going to call it a shooting foul. It will be a foul on the floor. So Pine City was hoping for the free throws, but referees did not agree. Now Lamont Sidney looks to drive inside. He'll give it off to Haas. Now top the key to Charles. Charles, nice move. Gives it off far side to Haas, and then tried to go inside, but it was stolen away by McCoy Parrish. Now up the court, and a beautiful move, and lays it in for 2 does Berger. 5-2 is the Esko lead. Nearly 2.5 minutes have come off the clock as Charles has it. He wanted to go to Wilson, and then wisely just kind of leads him on a pass to get around the defender. Now he steps to the side, puts up a 3, and it is through for Luke Wilson to tie it at 5. Quickly up the court, though, go the Eskimos. It's Berger. Ooh, I think he might have gotten away with a toe on the line there, and a 3 from the Eskimos. No good. Rebounded by Parrish, who puts it back up and in for 2. 7-5, Esko leads. Wilson back up the court. He's on the far side. Going inside to Cummings, who bounce passes it to Haas on the near side. Now to Lamont Sidney. Elbow, no good. Rebounded there by Zizulka. And back the other way comes McCoy Parrish, and he's going to get the foul called for the charge. Beautiful drive to the basket there by McCoy Parrish, but they're going to get him for the charge. The defender was there first, and nice job for Pine City there. Setting up in position and getting the charge call. Charlie Osmus checks into the game, as does Nick Plajek. And they subbed in for leave Riley Cummings and Isaiah Haas, excuse me. McCoy Parrish has it for the Dragons. And again, Parrish with the charge call. It'll be his second. And the Dragons have done a beautiful job here of setting up to take the charge. And now checking into the game for Parrish is Braden Molly. It's spelt male, but I'm pretty sure it's pronounced Molly. Maybe it is male. So I apologize. I'm going to be stuck between two Male and male. So I apologize if it's either one of those and I'm botching it. Maybe it's not either one of those. Maybe I'm just totally wrong. Either way, the Dragons have it back. It's Luke Wilson, a step back three, just off the mark. Rebounded there by Molly. And bringing it up the court now is Spindler. Spindler will float one to the basket. It's no good. Rebounded by Lamont Sidney. He'll take it up the other way. Stutter steps, tries to drive inside. That's going to be up and in for two. They're going to get the foul there on Esko. It's going to go on Zazalka, his second, and the team's fifth. And Lamont Sidney got it to fall, so he'll look for the and one. Dragons have done a good job so far here tonight of taking the fouls, setting it up, and also getting the fouls. As Lamont Sidney, no good on the three-point play. But Mason Charles grabbed the rebound, and a three from Lamont Sidney. Makes it 10-7. Charles did a good job getting that rebound, then pushed it back out to Sidney, and he found himself open for three, took the shot, nailed it. Berger will look to answer from three. That's no good. It's Nick Plajek who grabs the rebound. Wilson will bring it up the court here for Pine City. They're going to double team Wilson. Now give it off to Lamont Sidney for three. That's no good. Rebounded there by Zazulka. Here come the Eskimos. Spindler goes all the way across the court to Haugen. Haugen for three. That's off the mark. But getting the rebound was Zazulka once again. Now to Spindler. He's left open from three, and he nails it to tie the game at 10. Creeping up on that 13-minute mark here in the first half. Well, 5 minutes have come off the clock. Wilson, long three is drilled. 13-10. Come back the other way, Spindler. He'll give it off now to Berger. Berger looks to drive inside, floats it there to Male, and Male will pull it up and in for two. Just a little floater from outside the, from outside the paint. Luke Wilson has it. Luke Wilson looks to drive, pauses, gives it off to Osmus, and Osmus will. Shot is no good. Rebounded by Spindler. Spindler will give it off here. That shot is up, no good. Going to be off of Esko, and it will go back to the Dragons. Checking in now to take the place of Zazulka is Bryce Hipp. He wears that number 13 jersey for the Eskimos. 13-12 is the score. Pine City with the lead. Wilson's pass gets through a couple of hands to Osmus, and Osmus will give it back to Wilson. Wilson guarded well, and now he looks to drive inside. Poked out! Oh, beautiful poke and stolen away there by Haugen, and he'll beautiful pass there to Spindler, who puts it up and in for two. That was just a nice poke to get that ball away from Wilson, and that's a steal. It's 14-13. Esko with the lead. Charlie Osmus for three, and he puts it up and in for three. Osmus has such a smooth release. It's a different type of shot. And nice shot there from Haugen for two for the Eskimos. But back to Osmus. He has such a, it's not the stereotypical shot, the one hand come through. He almost pushes it with both hands. Nice move there by Osmus. He thought about three, then pulls it down, gives it off to Wilson. Too strong. It's Lamont Sidney with the rebound. Lamont Sidney still inside, struggling. He put it up off the glass and in for two to make it 18-16, but Osmus just does such a great job, and it's so smooth. He's obviously been doing that shot for probably his whole life, and it's so smooth. There's no hiccup in it. That shot is no good, and rebounded by Mason Charles. I'm surprised I haven't got those two mixed up all season long, but there I do. It was bound to happen. Luke Wilson has it for Pine City. Faked the give to Osmus, and Luke Wilson going to be called for the foul here on Pine City. Maybe not. We'll have to wait and see. Meanwhile, checking into the game for the first time for Pine City is A.J. Austinson. Looks like they say he stepped out of bounds, so it does go back to Esko. They'll look to go underneath. Male is rejected by the rim, and it's going to be taken, rebounded by Luke Wilson. Male looked to go up for the easy layup, but the rim got in his way, and then a Haas three went down and came out as it was halfway down, but rebounded by Riley Cummings. Back out top of the key to Wilson. Wilson has it on the near side. He'll drift to the far side, and now he'll give it off to Haas, now to Austinson, now back to Wilson. To Austinson. To Wilson. Haas thought about three, and then he pulled it down, gives it to Wilson, and head coach Allen wanted him to take that shot, and Luke Wilson's shot no good. That was a tough angle, as it's going to be rebounded by Spindler. 18-16, creeping up on the halfway point in this first half. Dragons with the lead. Driving inside is Berger. He'll give it back out to Owens, Jason Owens, wearing number 1 for Esko. Now we're going to drive inside Spindler. Spindler spins around, puts up a shot, nails it. That'll tie the game at 18. Just under 9.5 to go. Wilson on the near side, now drifts to the far side, gets it off to Austinson. Austinson gets a screen from Austinson will bounce pass to Wilson. One thing I've noticed here tonight is the Dragons, they like to play fast-paced, but they're really illegal screen here on Pine City on Ashton Seals. Unfortunately, once you set that screen, you can't move your feet to stay with the defender, so when you plant, you have to be planted and stay planted. Otherwise, it is an illegal screen. 9:04 to go here first half. We're tied at 18. As Owens will take it up the court for Esko. He now gives it off to Berger. Berger will go back to Owens. Back to Berger. Owens on the near side. He'll give it back to Owens. Owens now inside to Hip. Backs it out there to Spindler for 3. That's going to be off the mark. And getting the rebound over everybody was Male. And he puts it back in for 2. 20-18, Dragons trail. As Wilson has it, he'll give it off to Haas. Haas back to Wilson in the near side corner. Now to Seals. Seals driving far side, back to Haas. Haas, I don't know if he meant to do it behind his back, but he lost it behind his back. Still managed to hold on to it as the defender was right there. He's got the ball now to Wilson, and Wilson trying to drive inside. Bounce pass here to Haas. I think it was tipped because it got there a lot slower than anticipated. And now Wilson has it. Nice spin move off the screen from Cummings. He'll put up a shot that is no good, and Owens gets the rebound. I think it might have been partially blocked. Owens now has it for Esko. Drifting to the near side. He'll now give it back here to Hip. Hip trying to drive. Now to Owens. Owens thought about 3. Instead drives inside. Gives it off far side to Spindler. Inside to Male. And Male will turn around, put it up, and in for 2. 22-18. Wilson looks to head coach Kyle Allen for a word of direction, and they'll take it to the front court now to Isaiah Haas. Haas will give it off now to Seals. Seals does a great job there of avoiding the double dribble. He was in some trouble and looked to kind of recoup that ball, but he did a good job of not doing that with both hands, as you might just kind of out of instinct because you're trying to keep it alive, but he does a great job of literally kind of putting that left arm out to his other side to only get one hand on the dribble. Luke Wilson will come take a rest, and in for him comes Charlie Osmus. Now to Seals. Seals, top of the key, gives it off to Austinson now for 3 on the near side. That's no good. That's going to drop out of bounds. It should stay with the Dragons. It will. Knocked out of bounds by the Esko defender. Pine City holds on to possession. They trail by 4, 7:04 to go in the first half. Austinson will inbound it here to Seals. There's a little bit of a slick spot out there on that far side. I've seen a couple of players slip. Latest 1-2 slip was Haugen. Dragons have it though. Charlie Osmus gives it off now to Haas. Haas to Osmus. Osmus will drive inside the paint. Just inside the free throw line. He had it poked out and stolen away there by Haugen. And Haugen will take it. He stops, slides, and unfortunately that's going to be a travel. You get away with a little bit of a slide once you stop, but it's very little. But he slid and nearly did the splits. And again, he didn't mean to. It's not like he was trying to do something fancy with a slide there. Maybe the cha-cha slide, but no. Yeah. I'm sorry, that was terrible. Terrible. But either way, yeah, you can't slide that far and get away with it because that does become a travel, and unfortunately for him, it is. Luke Wilson checks back into the game after a quick rest, and Dragons still only trail by 4, 22-18. Luke Wilson looks to drive inside. He stops, backs it out to Charlie Osmus on the far side. That's a little too strong, but Ashton Seals comes up with the rebound. Nearly lost it again, does a great job, but that time he is going to lose it, and that time it is Haugen once again. His third steal, now to Owens. Owens on the near side. Gives it off to Haugen. Haugen will give it out to Spindler. Spindler looks underneath the basket to Male, and Male dunks it, but he was fouled on his way up. So it'll be the second team foul here for Pine City. It'll be the first on Riley Cummings, and the dunk there from Braden Male. It's a foul call, plus he made it, so he'll look for the three-point play. And Male, no good on the free throw attempt, so he will only get 2 there. It was rebounded by the Dragons. Charles has it. And that ball, ill-advised pass. Spindler right there for the easy steal. That ball is up and in for 2 from Zizulka. Ill-advised pass there from Charles. Tried to force something that wasn't there, and a turnover, and it's an 8-point lead now for the Dragons, and Lamont Sidney went up for that pass, and he came down hard, but he is right back up. Lamont Sidney, he is a tough player. There are not many things that are going to keep him out of a game, and that won't. That is, however, going to be the first foul on Bryce Hipp, and it is only the 16th foul, so that should only they're just going to inbound it, yeah. So they were lining up for a moment to go for the free throw, but it is only the 16th foul for Pine City, so they will only have the chance to inbound here. Luke Wilson will look to inbound. Bounce pass inside to Charlie Osmus, who puts it up and in for 2. 26-20. McCoy Parrish has it. He gives it off far side to Spindler. Spindler left wide open for 3, but it's no good. They're going to get a rebound there by Male, and then a foul call here. On the Eskimos. It'll be their team's 8th foul. I believe they're going to get Zizulka, and that'll be his 3rd, and he'll have to come take a seat on the bench for probably the rest of the first half, I'm guessing. And we'll see. We'll see how long. Maybe they'll stick him in here the last minute, but with 3 fouls, you almost can't risk it. That is the 7th team foul now for Esko, and that will send Nick Plajek to the line for a 1-and-1 situation. First one does not get the kind roll, and it's rebounded by Parrish, and quickly up the court, he gives it off to Berger, back to Parrish. Parrish looks to drive inside, spins, gives it back out, top of the key to Spindler. Spindler gets a screen from Parrish. Parrish drives inside, look for the pick and roll, but not available. Now he gives it back to Hipp. And now to Parrish. Parrish stuck inside, through some traffic, throws it at the net, no good. And it's Nick Plajek with the rebound. Luke Wilson has it. Double team, looking to get out of a double team, spins. Clockwise, now gives it to Osmus, to Charles. Charles all the way back out to Wilson. Wilson gets through a double team, now to Osmus. Now to Charles. Charles back to Osmus. Inside to Sidney, back out to Mason Charles for 3 from the near side. That's a little too strong, and tipping it to himself was Male for the rebound. Again, I apologize if it's spelt M-A-L-E, so male, but I'm pretty sure it's pronounced Male, and if it is male, I apologize. A 3 there from Esko is no good. It will be last touch by the Eskimos, and it will go back to Pine City. Hipp was right there trying to grab the rebound for Esko, but unable to hold on to it. Jason Owens will check in for Male, and Sam Haugen wants to check in. He will for Hip. Dragons will get it inbounded here with 4:15 to go. 26-20. They trail. Luke Wilson drives up on the far side. It's a screen from Lamont Sidney. Now pass it back to Osmus. Right back to Wilson. Wilson looks for that screen, and I think Wilson is going to draw the foul there on Owens. It will. So Jason Owens will get the foul call, and his first, team's 8th. With 3:57 to go, Luke Wilson is at the line for the 1-and-1. Plajic missed his opportunity last time, but Luke Wilson makes the first. Make it 26-21. And Luke Wilson drops them both home. 26-22 with under 4 minutes to go here in the first half on that Embrace Orthodontic scoreboard. Dr. Sears is committed to providing world-class orthodontic care in a friendly and comfortable atmosphere. Start today at EmbraceMN.com. Parrish gets the pass there from Haugen, and he puts it up and in for an easy 2. 28-22. Luke Wilson on the far side gets a screen, passes it off to Osmus. That 3 going to be well long from Charles, but rebounded there by Plajic. And they'll pass the ball back now to Wilson. Wilson wanting a screen from Sidney. Gets the screen, now looks to drive inside, backs it out to Charlie Osmus for 3. That's going to come up short. Rebounded by Lamont Sidney. So short on 1 3, too long on the other, and then that shot no good from Lamont Sidney. McCoy Parrish takes it the other way, quickly up the court, passing it back and forth, and now a 3 from Berger. That's good. 31-22. And you can't leave these shooters from Esko wide open. I know I said I'd seen a lot of dunks. I didn't see a lot of threes being shot in pregame. They were just saving them for the game. And now a steal here from Jason Owens. He'll put it up and in for 2. 33-22 is the Pine City deficit right now. Trying to turn things around. Again, we've seen this Dragon offense be really patient here tonight and really be kind of selective with where they're passing the ball and their shots. And it's worked here in the first half. They had a lead, and they actually had it tied for some time, and we get a timeout called here by Pine City with 2:20 to go. The Eskimos lead over Pine City 33-22 on that Embrace Orthodontics scoreboard. Embrace Orthodontics, they're helping you find a smile that you will embrace forever. Find out more at EmbraceMN.com. So the Dragons trail by 11, but it was most recently just a 4-point game. They trailed 26-24, but the Eskimos have got 7 straight points. A 3 and a couple of beautiful passes for some lay-ins. But the Dragons are right there. It's not like they're struggling here in the first half to find points or to find some offense to maneuver with. They're getting the job done on offense right now, and they can continue to get things rolling. They'll keep themselves in this one. Back out of the timeout, Luke Wilson gets the inbound pass, and now he'll give it off to Haas. Haas back to Wilson. Wilson gets that screen from Sidney. Now to Charles, and get a foul underneath by Pine City, so we'll give the ball back to Esko. I think that one's on Haas. His first. And that's a tough one because right now Esko has kind of found their rhythm on offense, so if you're Pine City, you really need a big stop here. Not that, them scoring again is going to be the end all, but it will certainly help their case. This lob pass into Haugen is no good, rebounded by Luke Wilson. He'll quickly bring it up the court, and that's going to be a frustration foul there from Haugen. And he's getting a word from his teammate Berger just saying, hey, can't be doing that. We don't want those fouls because now it sends Wilson to the line. You gotta love to see that though. The teammates, taking full responsibility, making sure they're keeping their teammates accountable, and Haugen's going to come take a seat, as that'll be his second foul. It's the team's ninth. Luke Wilson looks for the 1-and-1. It's no good. That'll be out of bounds. Oh! Thought that was off of Esko, but they have the better view and say it is off of Pine City. But we'll go back to Esko. No good on the free throw was Luke Wilson, so Esko has it back with under 2 minutes to go. It's Spindler who gives it to Owen. Now back to Spindler, back to Owens. Near side corner to Berger for, he faked the three, now gives it off to Owen to Spindler. Spindler goes inside to Berger, who puts it up and in for two. Little full court pressure here from the Eskimos on Dragons, but they'll back off now, and Wilson will get it to the front court. 35-22. Dragons trail. Creeping up on a minute to go, and that ball is going to be mishandled by Luke Wilson, and it's going to go out of bounds. It will go back to Esko, and again, these are the things, if you're Pine City right now, you would like to avoid, just because Esko, again, has found rhythm on offense, and when a team has found rhythm like that, it's hard to stop. Spindler will give it to Owens inside to Hip, and Hip will drive inside. That's no foul called, surprisingly. Thought we might get one there on Pine City. They looked to get into the body a little bit too much. Surprisingly, no foul call, and Dragons will get it back as it went out of bounds off of a Eskimo, and now under a minute to go. That ball's poked out, stolen away by Owens, and he'll push it back up and in for two. 35-22. Luke Wilson nearly lost the ball again, but he manages to grab it back, and now into the front court with 30 seconds to go, looking to drive inside, and shot is knocked away, and a late whistle there. Looks like we're going to get the 10th team foul on Esko, and it will send Wilson to the line for two. No? No, they say the Esko player was out of bounds when he took the ball away. Interesting. Haas for three on the far side. Drops in his first bucket of the evening. Makes it 37-25. And I am sure that we will see Esko pass around to take off a lot of the clock and take the last shot of the half. Now Berger has it. He'll give it to Owens. Now to Spindler, far side. Three no good. Lamont Sidney with the rebound. I don't think he realized how little time was left, as he was going to put up a last-second shot, but unfortunately did not have time to kind of set his feet and get ready. So the Dragons trail here at halftime, 37-25 on that Embrace Orthodontics scoreboard. Embrace Orthodontics, your customized smile journey starts with a free consultation. The team at Embrace Orthodontics wants to make your journey as seamless and convenient as possible with custom braces or Invisalign. You can find out more at EmbraceMN.com. Dragons trail here at half, 37-25. We'll be right back after a word from our fine sponsors. You're listening to Boys Basketball here.
Are you interested in a technical degree that can quickly help you land your dream career? Or maybe you've always dreamed of going to a four-year college, but you'd like to start close to home. Either way, Pine Technical and Community College has you covered. PTCC offers more than 50 degrees in hot fields like healthcare information technology, advanced manufacturing, and business. PTCC is now accepting applications. Financial aid may be available online at pine.edu. Starting out or starting over, find your future at Pine Technical and Community College.
Did you know that Franzen Bank and Trust is a Minnesota-owned company? And they're one of the largest community banks around. That's a great combination. As a community bank, they're dedicated to their customers and the communities they serve. You might say they're big enough to help, small enough to care. Last March, they provided $20,000 in grants to 6 different Minnesota communities. They also processed well over 1,700 PPP loans, allowing local small businesses to keep their employees on the payroll during the pandemic. Franzen Bank and Trust. Real people, real results. Member FDIC.
This high school sports season, Wellia Health wants to remind you that they want to help your athletes stay in the game. Sports medicine services are available at every Wellia Health campus. Whether it's the young athlete, the weekend warrior, or the accomplished athlete, injuries can happen. Get back in the game by calling the sports medicine experts at Wellia Health, 320-679-1313. Wellia Health. Live life well.
Hey, I'm Chad Greenway. When I was playing, I loved chasing down running backs. But you shouldn't have to chase your bank around when you're buying a home. Franzen Bank and Trust Mortgage Consultants will be with you stride for stride, like a linebacker on a running back, from pre-approval to closing and beyond. Let Franzen Bank guide you through the mortgage process. Learn more at franzenbank.com/get there. Franzen Bank and Trust. Real people, real results. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Save now, plow now. Save now, mow later. The word to remember is save at Minnesota Equipment. End of the snow season means savings on all in-stock snow blowers. Top brands like Ariens and Toro. And if you're a get a jump on things type of person, get your new mower now and save before the grass starts growing. John Deere, Gravely, Toro, and more. Minnesota Equipment has the machines, experience, and inventory to help you get the job done in any season. Save now at Minnesota Equipment.
Back here on WCMP 106.5 FM, AM 1350. And, of course, live with video at WCMPradio.com. If you are listening to the broadcast on the radio, thanks so much for tuning in. And also, if you're watching on our YouTube, be sure to like and subscribe to our YouTube. Of course, if you're on YouTube, it'll be that red subscribe button. Make sure to hit that red subscribe button. That way you'll be notified anytime we go live with a local sporting event. Of course, I'm Ethan Game Day Gilman, bringing you all the action from tonight's boys basketball matchup between the Dragons and the Esko Eskimos. It's the regular season finale here for Pine City. This will be the end of the regular season for them. They'll look to see their playoff seedings come about here probably Saturday, Sunday-ish. We'll find out, and then, of course, we'll have an article out for you on Monday as to who will play where and when of all of our local area boys basketball teams. We had one out for our girls teams, and now the girls will begin playoffs on Thursday. We've had a couple of our local teams play here tonight. Sadly, one of them has played their final game of the season as North Branch fell to Hibbing. In that playoff girls basketball game, the final there, 53-38. And thanks, Joe Lattimore, for keeping me updated in that game. You know, his daughters play for North Branch, so again, that's a tough part about playoffs is you see jubilation on one side because they get to move on, and then sadness from the other team because their season has come to an end. So that's a tough one there for North Branch. They stuck through it, though, till the very end. But the North Branch girls basketball team falls to Hibbing tonight, 53-38. In our game, though, the Pine City Dragons trailed 37-25. It was a pretty close first half there for Pine City. They kept it within. They actually had a lead, creeping up on about that halfway mark. That's when Esko kind of started to take over. The turnovers were really kind of the turning point in that first half as Esko continued to get more and more turnovers. They started to pull more and more away. They took a lead. It was a 8-point lead, Pine City dropped it back down to 4. And then after that, Pine City only managed 3 more points, and Esko went on an 11-2 run to end the first half for the Eskimos. And looking at your stat leaders here in the first half for the Eskimos, it was Quinn Berger who had 10. He led the team. Braden Male with 8. Dalton Spindler with 7. 4 for McCoy Parrish and Jason Owens. And 2 for Sam Haugen and Carter Zazulka. Rebound-wise, Parrish and Male led the team with 4. 3 for Spindler and Zazulka. 7 total steals in that first half, and 3 of them came from Haugen. 2 from Owens. They had 9 team fouls. On the other side for the Pine City Dragons, leading the way was Luke Wilson with 10. Lamont Sidney scored 7. Adding 5 more was Charlie Osmus, and Isaiah Haas hit a 3 late in that first half to give himself 3 points. Rebound-wise, Lamont Sidney leads the team with 4 of them, and they only had 3 team fouls in that first half. And again, in the first half, we've seen Pine City, they like to play fast. They like to play with pace. Well, in that first half, we've seen them play with a little bit more patience than I think we're used to seeing them play with. They played with some patience there in the first half. They weren't trying to push the pace at all, and it seemed to help them because, as I mentioned, they had the lead /tied with Esko till about the halfway point in this first half, and it really seemed to be a key for Pine City. And they will look to try and get Esko off their rhythm. That's kind of what really helped Esko in this first half, was the fact that, one, they got the turnovers. That was a big key, and it wasn't just steals, it was turnovers of, travels, the ball out of bounds. It was those types of things that went along with the steals, but they also scored on most of the turnovers that they created. So if you're Pine City, obviously you want to eliminate the turnovers. Turnovers happen in every basketball game that you call, that you see, that you watch. It doesn't matter. Any basketball game that happens, there's bound to be double-digit turnovers. It doesn't matter what level it's being played at, there are going to be turnovers. But for Pine City, you want to try and keep those at a minimum here in the second half. It's going to be tough because Esko does a great job of kind of pressuring you, but also kind of allowing you to say, okay, we'll give you enough space to shoot, maybe. They kind of give you enough space, and then at that last second they close in on you. So we'll have to see what Pine City can do to combat that. But yeah, one of the things they're going to have to do is try to eliminate the turnovers here in the second half. They won't eliminate them completely, because again, turnovers just happen in any basketball game that's played. But try and keep them at a minimum here in the second half. And then if you do have turnovers, make sure that transition defense gets back quickly and you're not allowing them, one, to get any open shots from three, but two, driving inside. They have done a really good job of being a balanced team, has Esko. They've been driving inside, finding their shots inside, and getting the rebounds, but they've also done a good job of getting the ball on the perimeter and taking those shots and making them. So it's been a really balanced attack here for Esko. So for Pine City, I think you want to upset the balance right now. I think you're just looking for anything to try and upset the balance of Esko and try and get them off their game any little bit that they can if you're Pine City. Just something to get them just off their rhythm a little bit. It doesn't have to be anything drastic. Doesn't need to be, a run of any sort. Doesn't need to be, anything drastic. Just a simple, get them off their, mark. Anytime, it seemed like every possession they scored, which they didn't, but just get them off their mark a little bit so that every time they do have the ball, they aren't ending it in points, or maybe you're grabbing a few more turnovers. I'd like to see Pine City be a little bit more aggressive, too, in trying to create turnovers in this second half, too. They didn't create a whole lot. In fact, they didn't even get a steal in that first half. So for Pine City, I want to see them be a little bit more aggressive in the second half with trying to create turnovers for their team, because, again, Pine City's done a good job of creating turnovers, getting into transition offense, and scoring off those. And if they can do that, there's no doubt that they couldn't get on a run themselves and get this one back tied or even a lead. So for Pine City, they've got to just, it's not anything real major that they're doing and not doing well here in the first half. Just a couple little things that they need to tweak for the second half, and this could be right back to a tie game, a lead for Pine City. So second half action just about set to start. Both teams are back out onto the floor as we have 5 seconds before 18 minutes. We'll be back up on that Embrace Orthodontics scoreboard. Embrace Orthodontics, they'll do all the insurance heavy lifting for you. And if you don't have insurance, ask about financing options. They'll find a plan to fit your budget at embracemn.com. Dragons will be going left to right on your radio dial. Esko, right to left. Esko will get to start the half with the ball as Pine City won the tip-off. And it'll be Spindler who works with it to begin with for Pine City. And early on, we can see Lamont Sidney trying to create a turnover for Pine City and unable to get it there, but Haugen now has it. Gives it off to Parrish on that far side corner. He'll back it out now to Spindler. Kind of had the defense guessing as to where that was, but Riley Cummings did a good job of keeping an eye on it. Now driving inside was Haugen. Bounce pass out here to Spindler. Dragons doing a good job keeping pressure on the Esko offense. Now Berger with it. Gives it out to Haugen for three. That's no good. And Isaiah Haas gets the rebound, plus he was fouled. It'll be the first foul here in the second half for Esko. It's going to be, that's going to be on Parrish. That's his third. And early on, we're going to get a timeout call, I believe, here by Pine City. We will. 37-25, and they'll take a timeout in the second half. Not much time has gone off the clock as they will have possession when this timeout is over with. They trail by 12, but again, it's a close 12. It hasn't been real, I don't want to say not dominant, because there have been points in time where Esko has looked dominant, especially on that 11-2 run, but it hasn't been so drastic to the point where it's like, oh, this is, Pine City has no chance, because they have plenty of chances here in this second half to get on a run or just keep scoring and get themselves right back in it. So, I mean, this is a great opportunity for Pine City, I think, and they showed themselves in that first half. They can win this game. Meanwhile, they do get it inbound, and now in the front court, it's Mason Charles who has it. He gives off to Lamont Sidney. Fakes the three, drives inside, puts it up and in for two. (37-27), and it's a 10-point lead now for Esko, and they'll get it into the front court to Spindler, now to Berger. No look pass to Spindler, inside to Parrish, back to Berger. That one almost went awry from Berger, but he managed to pull it in one-handed, and a nice two-point shot there from Parrish. Left wide open, and he'll just take the easy two. Luke Wilson has it, and he'll drift far side. He'll give it off now to Haas, now to Wilson. Wilson on the far side, drifts towards back the top of the key, and thought about a three. Instead, he pulls it down. He gives it now off to Lamont Sidney. Lamont Sidney, he thought about three as well, but he'll give it back to Wilson. Wilson contested three. That's no good. Cummings just couldn't get in position for a rebound, and it's rebounded by Spindler. Now it's Esko with it, and it's Spindler. He takes a three from the near side corner. That's through. And Spindler, a big three there, 42-27. Esko with the lead. Wilson gives it back to Sidney. Sidney looking to drive inside. He puts up a shot. No. Oh, we do get a call. A very late whistle on that charge call. But they'll get the charge call no less. I believe that's going to be on Sidney. It is. His first, team's first of the second half. And there's a very late call. They let the ball drop through the net before getting the whistle on that one. So I think a lot of people here were hoping, hey, he got it. They're just gonna let it play out, but not the case there. Couple substitutions here. Charlie Osmus and Nick Plazic check in for Riley Cummings and Isaiah Haas. Passing the ball around quite a bit as now Haugen takes a three, far side. He drops it through. 45-27, and Esko right back into that rhythm they had there in the first half, and they'll look to continue that here in half number two, and they have so far. Luke Wilson has it. He'll give it off to Mason Charles, now to Charlie Osmus for three, and that's good. Charlie Osmus answers with the three. That's a big one. That will pull them back within 15 now. Nearly poked out, and Nick Plazic nearly got the steal, but they're going to call this one on Lamont Sidney as Nick Plazic came one way. Lamont Sidney wrapped around the other way and almost got the turnover, but that's going to be the second foul there on Lamont Sidney of the second half. At least I think that's who they gave it on. I don't think it was Nick Plazic because the whistle came after Sidney's attempt at the steal. Spindler will drive inside, and he'll lay a little feathered lob into the basket for two. Charlie Osmus has it far side. He'll just hand it off to Luke Wilson, who gets a screen from Sidney. Now to Charles, back to Wilson. Wilson on the near side. Gives it off to Osmus, and now to Charles. Pine City look to stay patient here in the second half, but a long three from Wilson is no good. Rebounded by Nick Plazic. And that one rolls away from Pine City, and I think, are we going to get a foul here on Esko? We will. So that one's going to go against Zazulka. That's his fourth. Surprised he's not checking out yet. They're going to keep him in. They're pretty confident he's going to stay clean, and that three shot no good. Rebounded by Osmus, and then his shot was no good, and it was last touch out of bounds by Pine City. So they originally said it was off of Esko, but I thought maybe a green jersey touched it last, and they come together, they talk about it and say, yep, Green touched it last, so Esko has it back, and I don't, I don't know what that was from Berger, but it's kind of a wide stutter step for about 10 feet. And he finally passes it off, and now McCoy Parrish will take it to the basket and lay it in for 2, and we'll get another timeout here called by Pine City. That'll be their third. They'll be left with 2 with 13:40 to go here in the second half. It's 49-30. Esko with the lead on that Race Orthodontic scoreboard. Esko has lost no rhythm from that halftime break. They have come right back out here in the second half and started right where they left off, and everything they're doing right now just looks so smooth. There's no hesitation. There's no second guessing. It's just boom, 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 and then shot. It's been a pretty good first couple minutes here for Esko, but Pine City hit a huge 3 coming off the hands of Charlie Osmus for his 8th point of the game. The Dragons will probably look to get that perimeter game working here in the second half as they trail now by 19, trying to not get that 20-point threshold. Again, they've been a team where if they get on a roll from 3, they're really tough to stop because it just kind of pulsates throughout the entire team. When they get a couple big 3s from this player, then the other one will feel it, and then they'll have a couple more who feel it, and they really do a good job of just feeding off each other's energy and rhythm. We'll see if they can't get on a rhythm of their own here, get themselves back within a few. Again, there's no 19-point shot in basketball. There's no, anything beyond a 4 because you can get the 3-point and a foul. That would create the and 1 opportunity for 4, but there's nothing real. There's nothing bigger than a 4-point opportunities. Now we're going to get a foul here on Berger. It'll be his first, team's third of the second half. But again, so Pine City just needs to go one at a time and not worry about, getting it all back in one because, you can't. So just worry about getting one basket at a time and get back on defense and try and stop Esko from scoring or scoring at will. So right now Esko is just, again, moving so smoothly when they have it on offense as that ball from Wilson to Austinson went through his hands out of bounds. So now Esko has it back. Spindler and Parrish is denied by the rim, and his rebound there was taken by Haugen. His shot is no good, rebounded by Cummings. Parrish tried for the dunk, but the rim rejected him, and Haugen got his rebound, but he couldn't put it up and in for 2. So there's a plus for Pine City, and now what they need to do is score. Even if it's a 2, try and score here on this offensive possession, and that ball gets to Haas off his fingertips, tips it to Seals. Seals tries to drive inside, now to Luke Wilson for a 3, a deep 3, and falls home. Nice long 3 there from Luke Wilson. Makes it 49-33. Esko still with the lead. 12:20 to go here in the second half. Gives it off far side to Jason Owens, who drives, spins back around, takes it back outside the perimeter, and now McCoy Parrish nearly had it stolen away by Ashton Seals, but Parrish will get it back. Parrish just did a good job of waiting for that one. He seen Seals didn't have a clean grab on it, so he just waited, and now they'll continue to pass the ball around, being patient. They'll put it up and in for 2 from Haugen. Again, they're doing a great job of just passing the ball around and being patient on that offense now, and kind of taking a page out of Pine City's book in that first half. Here come the Dragons, though, and Luke Wilson again. He hit a long 3 the last time on offense. His shot is no good for 2, but Riley Cummings picks up the rebound, and then the shot there from Luke Wilson is no good. Parrish got the rebound and almost got ahead of himself as he was tripping on his way up the court, and luckily enough for him, Spindler was there to take it almost off his back and bring it up the front court. He'll take it all the way to the basket for 2. Luke Wilson guarded well by Jason Owens, and Luke Wilson will dribble from one side of the court to the near side, and now gives it off to Seals. Seals wanted the step back three. He'll go inside to Cummings, but it's stolen away by McCoy Parrish. Quickly up the court here, and oh my goodness. Haugen had that one go behind his back, kept it alive with his right hand, and now he puts it up and in for two. Wilson will give it off to Austinson, and the turnovers again. Kind of holding down the Dragon offense and just trying to eliminate those turnovers. Wilson, he has it. He looks on the far side for something to work with. He now drives inside, and he's going to be fouled by Parrish. That'll be his fourth, and they will make him come rest. So he'll probably rest till that 7-6 minute mark, depending on how the rest of this second half goes. Luke Wilson will come take a rest. In for him is A.J. Austinson. And Seals, he's going to have that one stolen away by Haugen. And Jason Owens will put it up and in for two. So Haugen gets the steal to Owens for two, 57-33. A.J. Austinson has it, and he'll bounce pass here to Ashton Seals for three. That's off the mark, and getting the rebounds is Riley Cummings. He's had some strong rebounds here tonight, and he's really had to, as now that shot from Osmus no good, rebounded by Austinson. He'll give it off to Seals. Seals wanted three, instead drives inside, puts the shoulder down, gets it up, and in for two plus the and one. We're going to get the foul called there on Berger. I believe, anyways. Berger his second foul, and team's fifth, and that shot is good from Ashton Seals. It'll be a three-point play. So 57-36. Esko leads. Luke Wilson, Mason Charles, Lamont Sidney, Nick Plajek check in for Ashton Seals, Isaiah Haas, A.J. Austinson, and Riley Cummings. The only one staying out there for Pine City is Charlie Osmus. Under 10 minutes to go here in the second half. Esko with the lead. Jason Owens brings it up the court, and he'll pass it off now. Goes inside to Male. His shot is up and fighting for the rebound. We get a jump ball call there. And possession arrow favors the Dragons, so they'll get it. Lamont Sidney battled with that rebound, battled for the rebound rather, with Jason Owens, and he was able to hold on to it just enough to get the jump ball call. Nick Plajek gets the pass there from Osmus, and now to Wilson. Wilson guarded by Owens. Wilson looking to drive inside, spin move. He'll give it back to Osmus for three. That's just off the mark. Nick Plajek has had a couple of big rebounds here tonight, making some plays for the Dragons. And now he'll give it off to Lamont Sidney for three. That's no good. Spindler with the rebound. Yeah, Nick Plajek has had some big rebounds here tonight. He's got 5 of them total. And a big player here. And oh my goodness, a long three from Spindler. He made it look easy. Three there for him. It's 60-36 now. Luke Wilson starts and stops, and that one's poked out from behind, and it'll be stolen away by Hip. Bryce Hip will get the stat for the steal, and now to Berger. Gives it out to Hip. Hip looks to drive inside. And they're going to get a foul as they tried to get it to Male, and I think they're going to get Wilson for the foul. They will. It'll be his first and the team's third here of the second half. A.J. Austinson checks in for Luke Wilson. 60-36 is the Esko lead. Jason Owens left alone at the top of the key for three. That's not going to fall, and Lamont Sidney will pick up the rebound, and looks like we're going to get a foul called here on Esko. It'll be on Hip. It'll be his second and the team's sixth. Wilson will check back in for Austinson. And Osmus will inbound here to Wilson. Dragons trail 60-36 on that Embrace Orthodontics scoreboard. Embrace Orthodontics custom braces are in Invisalign with 3 locations in Pine City, Sherman, Cambridge. Dr. Sievers is committed to providing world-class orthodontic care in a friendly and comfortable atmosphere. Start today at embracemn.com. Luke Wilson was fouled there by Jason Owens. That was a pretty tough foul, too, and that'll be the second on Owens and the team's 7th, and Wilson will go to the line for a 1-and-1. Get a couple substitutions. Parrish and Zazelka will check back in. Both have 4 fouls. They come in for Owens and looks like Berger. So Wilson is at the line for a 1-and-1. First one is up and does not get the kind roll as Male right there for the rebound up for the Eskimos. Passing it around, and Eskimos get it to Zazelka, who puts it up, lays it in for 2. This foul going to be on Pine City. They're going to get this one on, I believe, Luke Wilson. Haas and company check in for Plajic and Osmus, and it is Luke Wilson's 2nd. And the team's 4th, and Zazelka looks for the 3-point play. And he drops it through. 63-36 is the Esko lead here over Pine City. And Luke Wilson brings it up the court. Original starting 5 out there for them. As Haas will get it off to Wilson. Wilson will take a long 3. That's just off the mark. And Hip will pick up the rebound. He goes one way, then cuts back the other way. Now pass it back out to Parrish, and he traveled. And we will get a brand new player to check into the game as Haugen checks in, but as does number 10, Jackson Peterson. He checks in for the first time here tonight for Esko. And again, they traveled, so the ball goes back to Pine City. With under 8 minutes to go, Lamont Sidney has it, gives it off to Charles. Wants Haas, and Haas was covered well, but manages to pull in the pass. And now Lamont Sidney, he loses it. Still has it, guarded well by Parrish. Lamont Sidney, he'll pull up a long 3. That's just off the mark. Rebound up for grabs. It will be Dragon ball, looks like. So knocked out of bounds by Esko off the attempted rebound, and Dragons will hold on to it. Just under 7 to go, 63-36. Lamont Sidney gets the inbound on the far side. That's no good. Riley Cummings had a chance for the rebound. Couldn't pull it in, and Jackson Peterson will get it for Esko. This pass slipped through the hands of Parrish, trying to get it there to Zazelka, but it was knocked out of bounds by a Dragon. So, and an opportunity for the turnover, but unfortunately, Parrish had it kind of slip through his hands. I don't know if he had it poked or if it just slipped, but it flew out of his hands, and I don't think the Dragons expected that to happen, so they really weren't ready. And now a 3 here from Spindler. That's no good, and Riley Cummings pulls down the rebound. Luke Wilson has it on the far side. Gives off to Haas, now to Wilson. Wilson will give it to Charles. Charles looks to drive inside, puts up the long layup for 2. Mason Charles using his lengthy arms for the nice layup there. Ends their scoring drought and gets them back on the board, 63-38. That was a nice job there by Mason Charles, using his length and his long arms to help himself get a basket. It's his first of the night. Meanwhile, Esko again being patient. They'll give it off to Parrish. Now to Zazelka. Zazelka off the mark, and he'll drop it in for 2. And we'll get a foul here on Pine City. It'll be their team's 5th and the first on Mason Charles. And Zazelka will go to the line for another 3-point play. 65-38. That one is up and no good. And is that Parrish? Oh, it is. It will be Parrish's 5th foul, and he will foul out with 5:56 to go. Checking in for him is Male. So Parrish will foul out here with 5:56 to go. And Lamont Sidney's at the line for a 1-and-1, but Pine City only has 5 fouls here in the second half. Well, I am super. It wasn't a tech foul, was it? No, it wasn't. It was. That's interesting. Okay. Well, I guess Pine City got a free opportunity at 1-and-1, but it was missed by Mont Sidney, and that shot there is no good. Rebounded by Sidney, and quickly up the court come the Dragons. Wilson working with it, gives it off to Isaiah Haas for 3, gets it to drop through. He had a big one there in the first half. He gets another big one here in the second half. 65-41. Male inside. He'll give it back out to Peterson. Now to Zizulka. Inside to Male. Far side there, and timeout called here by Esko. With just under 5 minutes left to go, it's 65-41. Esko with the lead on that Embrace Orthodontics scoreboard. Embrace Orthodontics, helping you find a smile you will embrace forever. 30-second timeout taken there by Esko. I'm not really sure what happened there on that last one. Pine City only has 5 team fouls, and it certainly wasn't a shooting foul on Lamont Sidney because he was going for the rebound, but I'm not sure what rule I don't know about, maybe. I don't know. I'm just super confused. Either way, both teams get back out onto the court, and the Dragons trail 65-41 here. In the second half, of course, stay tuned post-game. We'll have an interview with the A&W Player of the Game and head coach Kyle Allen as the season wraps up here this evening for Pine City. They will await and see what their seeding will be. That ball tipped away by Lamont Sidney, but it falls into the hands of Haugen, and now a 3 attempt is no good. Lamont Sidney gets the rebound. He'll take it up the court. Behind the back dribble nearly costs him the turnover, but then he gives it inside to Riley Cummings, who puts it up and in for 2. Nice job there by Cummings to just hesitate and get the basket to drop. 65-43, that ball's poked out by Charles. Nice job to avoid the foul as well, but Zizulka pulls it back in, and now he'll give it off. But it's stolen away by Luke Wilson. That's their first steal of the game. And he nearly had it stolen right back. Oh, and then it was nearly rebounded by Cummings, and Luke Wilson did grab it, but he did not establish himself back in the field of play, or the court of play, if you'd rather say that way. But either way, he didn't establish himself back in bounds, so it will go back to the Eskimos. So nice job, nice steal there from Luke Wilson. Then he brought it to the basket. He had to leap from nearly the free throw line to avoid the travel, and he did. And then the rebound by Cummings was slapped towards Wilson, but he just didn't reestablish himself in bounds before putting it up for 2. 2 the other way from Haugen. Make it 67-43. Luke Wilson takes a long 3. It's off the front of the rim. Lamont Sidney pulls in the rebound. Works through some traffic. Gets it to fall. Plus the and 1. I just realized how stupid I sounded. Pine City, they don't need the fouls. It's Esko who needs the fouls. Man, I know I was off my game tonight, but wow. 2 there from Montsydney. Oh. Sorry, folks. It's a long day. Montsydney does not get that one to fall, so he will only get 2. And then we get a foul here on Pine City. It's going to be on Riley Cummings, his 2nd, and the team's 6th. Oh, it's one of those days, ladies and gentlemen. It's one of those days as we get a timeout. Maybe I need a timeout for Pete's sake. Oh, either way. Pine City trails 67-45. Wow. You can't see me on the radio, but I'm sure you can feel the embarrassment. 67-45 Dragons trail on that Embrace Orthodontics scoreboard. Embrace Orthodontics, your customized smile journey starts with a free consultation. The team at Embrace Orthodontics wants to make your journey as seamless and convenient as possible with custom braces or Invisalign. Find out more at embracemn.com. Timeout taken there by Pine City. They'll be left with 1 here in the game. They trail 67-45, and not impossible for a comeback. I'm sure that's what head coach Kyle Allen is telling them right now. Just keep pounding away. Keep on moving forward. Just run the offense and try and get some points, and then get back on defense. Try and guard them. Don't allow them any open baskets. And finish off the last 3.5 minutes strong. In 3:34, it's not impossible to see a 22-point comeback, but with the way the offense for Esko has been moving, it'll be tough. Another new player in for Esko. It's Xander Gable. Number 11. That shot up and no good. Rebounded by Luke Wilson. He looks to take it to the basket, but no good, and it's rebounded by Jason Owens. Get a foul here on Pine City. Their 16 foul, and it's a tech foul here on Luke Wilson. So a tech foul. It's the 17th foul for Pine City, but it's a tech. And Gable at the line for the 1-and-1. He makes the first, and now he'll get ready for another one. And he drops them both in. Plus, they'll get the ball back. So Luke Wilson called for the tech foul. He'll take a rest. Down 69-45, and Kyle Allen wants a word with the referee just to kind of ask, hey, why was that tech called on my player? Why? What did he do? What did he say? What happened? And again, there's a lot that goes into those. It's, it could be a build-up from something they seen earlier. It could be just a really egregious foul. It could be a foul that, is intended to harm. I'm not saying any of this is what happened with Luke Wilson. I'm just saying these are the things that go into a decision of calling a tech. So a lot of times they'll take a lot into consideration. It takes, a lot of times it takes a lot for a tech foul. Usually they don't want to call those if they don't have to, because you never want to call a tech on anybody, but sometimes they don't have an option. Sometimes they have to. This foul is going to be on Pine City. It'll send Esko back to the line for a 1-and-1, and I believe it's on Isaiah Haas. That'll send Bryce Hipp to the line for a 1-and-1. 8th team foul on Pine City with 2:58 to go. They trail by 24. Hipp's first one is through. Make it 70-45. And Hipp's second one is through as well. So Hipp makes them both. And we'll get another substitution here for Zazulka. It'll be Jacob Randa wearing number 4. He checks in for the Eskimos. Lamont Sidney drives to the basket. His shot is up and no good. A rebound over there by Molly. Esko passing it around. Randa looks for three. It's in and out. And Isaiah Haas gets the rebound. Looks like we'll get a foul here on Esko. It might be on Owens. It is. Jason Owens gets the foul call on him. It's his third, but the team's 10th, and that will send Isaiah Haas to the line for two. 71-45 on that Embrace Orthodontic scoreboard. 2.5 minutes to go. And we do have a final over in Mora as the Mustangs beat Spectrum 74-52. Haas gets the friendly roll as that drops in for the first. And he'll get another opportunity here at the free throw line. Wilson checks back in for Ashton Seals. And Haas cannot get the second one to go, but it's rebounded there by Lamont Sidney. He can't get it to go, and Mason Charles will get the rebound, put it back up and in for two. 71-48. Timeout called here by Esko with 2:17 to go. So the Mora Mustangs get the victory over Spectrum over there in Mora. And the final over there in that one, 74-52. Thanks to Adam Hefty, who called that game for us. We appreciate that. Thank him for all he does, as well as all of our other guys who call games for us. Joe Lattimore and Andy Beckstrom. Thanks to them as well. But Adam Hefty over in Mora in the call of that Mora Spectrum game, and the Mora gets the victory, and they'll end their season. I believe it's Thursday out at St. Cloud. It might be Friday, actually, out at St. Cloud Cathedral. So a section and conference game there for Mora, and what a way to end the season. They could very well possibly see St. Cloud Cathedral right back in the playoffs. Esko has it. They'll inbound it here to Gable, and he puts it up and in for three. Xander Gable for three. As now the Dragons take it the other way. They'll pass it around. Under two to go. Wilson drives inside, and he's going to be fouled by Esko. It's going to be Owens who picks up the foul, his fourth, and he's at the line to shoot two is Wilson. First one is through. Jackson Peterson back into the game for Molly. Again, if it's male, I apologize to all our Esko listeners if there's any tuned in. Luke Wilson hits them both. And it's 74-50 with under 2 minutes to go. Owens gives it off far side here to Randa. Randa drives inside, and he'll now pass off to Peterson on the near side for three. That's a little bit long. Ball's right into the hands of Randa for the rebound. Jason Owens has it, and he's on that far side trying to get around the defender, and ooh. They're going to call that one on Austinson, and that one could have went on Owens, as Owens kind of got into the body there of Austinson, but they'll get it on Owens, on Austinson. And A.J. Austinson will pick up his first and Pine City's ninth here of the second half. 1:37 to go. Jason Owens at the line to shoot a 1-and-1 for Esko. The first one's up, no good, and rebounded there by Ashton Seals. Luke Wilson inside. Awkward shot, and it does not fall. Randa will get the rebound for the Eskimos. Quickly up the court come the Eskimos, but that ball gets a little bit displaced, and it will go out of bounds. It will go back to Pine City. Austinson has it now for the Dragons. He brings it up the court and behind the back dribble. Looks to drive inside. Wanted to go back outside to Osmus, but instead gives it off to Seals. Seals has it, gives it to Wilson. Wilson far side. Bringing it back his way and gives it top the key to Charlie Osmus for three. That's just off the mark and falls into the hands of Ashton Seals, who puts it back up and in for two. So Seals with the rebound gets it to fall, and 74-52. Jason Owens gonna get called for the charge. Unfortunately, that's his fifth, and he will have to check out. So Owens out, and in for him is number 23, Cruz Lamatainen. Oh, I apologize if I botched that. It's a tough one if you're not used to it. Luke Wilson has it for the Dragons. He lost it inside, and turnover going to be stolen away by Cruz. I'm not going to try to pronounce his last name just because I don't want to botch it, but it's stolen right back by Wilson, who put it back up and in for 2. So a steal by Cruz and then stolen back by Wilson, and now Randa has it. Passes it out to Cruz, and now to Gable for 3. That shot is up, no good, and rebound going to fall into the hands of Plajek, and then it went in between the thighs there of Randa. We'll look at the steal. 3-2, and that will be the end of this one. So the Dragons fall here to the Esko Eskimos 54-74 here in the regular season finale. We'll take a commercial break, get a word from our A&W player of the game and head coach Kyle Allen after a word from our fine sponsors. You're listening to Boys Basketball
A&W
here
Restaurant
on
Pine City is still making fresh root beer. That signature item since 1919. It's still made fresh and on site with real cane sugar and a blend of secret ingredients. It doesn't get any better than this. Their world-renowned A&W root beer is a classic treat, and they can top it off with creamy vanilla soft serve to be known as the famous A&W root beer float. Now that's smooth, tasty, and refreshing. An American iconic A&W root beer float. It never tasted so good. A&W Restaurant Pine City. Come grab your root beer float today.
Your tomorrow is important to Pine Insurance Agency and Grinnell Mutual. That's why you can trust us to provide you with personalized service and a full range of insurance coverages you can count on. We'll be there when you need us so you can trust in tomorrow. For all your insurance needs, contact Pine Insurance Agency, your local Grinnell Mutual agent at pineagency.us today. Trust in Tomorrow is a registered trademark of Grinnell Mutual Reinsurance Company.
Are you interested in a technical degree that can quickly help you land your dream career? Or maybe you've always dreamed of going to a 4-year college, but you'd like to start close to home. Either way, Pine Technical and Community College has you covered. PTCC offers more than 50 degrees in hot fields like healthcare information technology, advanced manufacturing, and business. PTCC is now accepting applications. Financial aid may be available. Online at pine.edu. Starting out or starting over, find your future at Pine Technical and Community College.
Did you know that Franzen Bank and Trust is a Minnesota-owned company? And they're one of the largest community banks around. That's a great combination. As a community bank, they're dedicated to their customers and the communities they serve. You might say they're big enough to help, small enough to care. Last March, they provided $20,000 in grants to 6 different Minnesota communities. They also processed well over 1,700 PPP loans, allowing local small businesses to keep their employees on the payroll during the pandemic. Franzen Bank and Trust. Real people, real results. Member FDIC.
Back here on WCMP, we're now joined by our A&W player of the game. That'll be Nick Plajek. Nick, first of all, this was a tough one here, a very physical competition, but what did you take away from this game?
I think we played great as a team. We started off really good, but got a little away at the end. But I like the physicality.
Absolutely, and physicality seems to be something that you guys kind of welcome in games. Is that true, or is that just kind of something that kind of happens with the players?
Yeah, we got a lot of football players on the team, so we like to get a little physical down there.
Absolutely, and you picked up a couple of big rebounds here in this game. We've seen you kind of get better as the season has gone along. What is that? What do you attribute that to? Just practice, or is that just kind of come in game time?
I just like to hustle and get in there at game time and do what I can to help us win.
Absolutely. So this is the regular season finale. What do you guys do now as you prepare for playoffs?
Just wait to see who we play and go there and kick some butt.
Absolutely. Well, thanks so much for joining us. Nick Plajek, you are the A&W player of the game.
Thank you.
Absolutely. And that, again, was Nick Plajek, our A&W player of the game. We'll now be joined by the Pine City head coach, Kyle Allen. And Coach Allen, this was a pretty fun one, a physical, another fast-paced game here for you. But what do you take away from this game as it is the regular season finale?
Yeah, I mean, it's a little showing, good and bad, of this group. I thought we came out well tonight. I thought we came out prepared. I thought we came out physical. I thought we came out, with a little bit of an edge to us. And the good teams, the great teams have to do that consistently. Any team can come out on any given night and give you the best game of their season. And And our guys need to find a way to do that consistently. And again, we're at the end of the year, and now we start the new season. Now we venture into the real part of the season. The last part of the season where it's win or go home. And so the hope is that we can build on this. The hope is that we just played the number 5 team in the state. They're good. They're athletic. They are well coached. They are disciplined. And, I was pretty happy with our effort, and I was pretty happy with how we tried to execute things. So overall, I thought it was pretty good. Again, it's the consistency piece. We need to be able to do that on any given night and every given night. And if we can find a way to do that, we'll be a tough team.
Absolutely, and you guys stayed right in it there in that first half, and it seemed like maybe the turnovers became a little bit of the problem there towards the end of the first half, but up till that point, it was neck and neck the whole way. What was the message to the team here at halftime?
Keep fighting. They're going to come out, and when we're in this situation, you got a 10-point lead or so coming into halftime. You want to try to get that knockout punch right away, and so it's crucial that you are prepared for that. It's crucial that you're ready to either get the first strike or take the first hit and come back and stay on your feet and get the next one. So we want to have that fighter's mentality. And again, I thought our guys did a good job of trying to do things correctly. They didn't back down tonight. There was no deer in the headlight looks from any of our guys. They knew what the challenge was. I thought they were up for the challenge. And again, there's no moral victories, but we can lose if we are going about it the right way.
And this team, the last couple of games you guys have played, whether win or loss, it seems like they have been just fighting right until that it seems like a little bit of a different mentality these last couple of games. Would you agree?
Yeah, we're getting ready for playoffs, and this is where the season starts. So, we purposely look at our schedule. We try to give ourselves a little bit of time before playoffs. It gives us a chance to scout. It gives us a chance to get our bodies right. It gives us a chance to make sure that we're mentally and physically ready for that last run. So I think this Saturday we find out who we're playing next Thursday, and then all efforts and eyes and everything else will be set to that. So we, of course, we've started that process, and we're scouting 3, 4, 5 teams and making sure we're gathering as much information as we can. But then when we find out who the matchup is going to be, then the new season starts right there, and we go get them, and it's win or go home.
Absolutely, and you mentioned it plenty. It's a new season, and there's 2 seasons. There's a regular season, and then it's postseason. What does the transition look like now for your team going into playoffs?
We put a lot of good stuff on tape so that we can look at us, and we try to gather a lot of tape on whoever we're going to play, and make sure we have the matchups we want. Tonight I never run out of timeouts. I ran out of timeouts tonight. That never happens. And I told Luke in a timeout, I said, we're going to take the whole one, and we never take the whole one. And I said, we don't take timeouts because there's nothing to discuss. We've done our homework. You know what I want. I know what I want. The team knows what I want. We just have to go and execute it. Sometimes you need a timeout to be reminded of it, but there's not a lot of new information coming into a timeout for us. And so it's all that preparation to get ourselves as ready as possible to go out and execute our system against whoever it is we're going to play.
Absolutely. And what is the message to the team now as you prepare for playoffs? Of course, you want them to make sure to get healthy and be as healthy as they can for next week, but obviously you want to make sure that they're getting prepared as well.
Yeah, I think it's twofold. It's getting your body right and getting your mind right. And body is rest, and then, we make sure we know the workload of what we're putting on them, good, bad, or otherwise as the playoffs approach. And then the mental end of it is twofold. You want to have the mental end of it of preparing for the team that you're going to play, but then you want the mental end of it. You want it to sink in that it's now or never. You want it to sink in that it's win or go home. The reality of that usually has people rise to the occasion. And so we want to give our guys the opportunity to rise to the occasion and be ready for that.
Absolutely. Well, Coach, thank you so much for joining me here tonight, and good luck moving forward.
Appreciate you, buddy. Thank you for all your coverage all year, and we thank WCMP for everything they do for us.
Absolutely. And that, again, was head coach Kyle Allen. Thanks so much to him for joining us post-game all season long and bringing us an A&W player of the game after games. And Nick Plajek, though he may not have gotten a point on the board, he picked up 6 big rebounds for this team. He was third on the team. Lamont City had 9, and Cummings had 7. But yeah, Plajek, he was really, you can just see him improve each and every game. It was so fun to watch this team throughout the season. And Nick Plajek, when he came in, you can just see him improve each and every week that this team played, and it's so fun to watch him improve. He's such an energy boost for this team, and you can see him out in the middle of their circle to hype up the team before they get to their pregame warmups, and it's so fun to watch him be out there, be that energy for the team. He has got such an electricity about him. That smile that he brings is such an uplifting smile, and you can just tell that the team, they rally around him. They look to him for some energy. So great night here for him. 6 rebounds. Again, didn't get a point on the board, but 6 big rebounds, and he just plays so physical, so tough, and he just does his job the right way. So it'll be interesting to see how they go going forward. We will take a commercial break, and we'll come back and recap the rest of this game.
Listening to Boys Wellia Health wants to remind you that they want to help your athletes stay in the game. Sports medicine services are available at every Wellia Health campus. Whether it's the young athlete, the weekend warrior, or the accomplished athlete, injuries can happen. Get back in the game by calling the sports medicine experts at Wellia Health, 320-679-1313. Wellia Health. Live life well.
Hey, I'm Chad Greenway. When I was playing, I loved chasing down running backs. Well, you shouldn't have to chase your bank around when you're buying a home. Franzen Bank and Trust Mortgage Consultants will be with you stride for stride, like a linebacker on a running back, from pre-approval to closing and beyond. Let Franzen Bank guide you through the mortgage process. Learn more at franzenbank.com/get there. Franzen Bank and Trust. Real people, real results. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Save now, plow now. Save now, mow later. The word to remember is save at Minnesota Equipment. End of the snow season means savings on all in-stock snow blowers. Top brands like Ariens and Toro. And if you're a get a jump on things type of person, get your new mower now and save before the grass starts growing. John Deere, Gravely, Toro, and more. Minnesota Equipment has the machines, experience, and inventory to help you get the job done in any season. Save now at Minnesota Equipment.
A&W Restaurant Pine City is still making fresh root beer, that signature item since 1919. It's still made fresh and on-site with real cane sugar and a blend of secret ingredients. It doesn't get any better than this. Their world-renowned A&W root beer is a classic treat, and they can top it off with creamy vanilla soft serve to be known as the famous A&W root beer float. Now that's smooth, tasty, and refreshing. An American iconic A&W root beer float. It never tasted so good. A&W Restaurant Pine City. Come grab your root beer float today.
Back here on WCMP 106.5 FM, AM 1350, WCMPradio.com. The Pine City Dragons fall here this evening to the Esko Eskimos, 74-54. But again, the fight from this Dragon team has just been outstanding to watch, and they have really looked like they have turned on the physicality here these last couple of weeks and have changed their mentality and wanted to be more physical, have welcomed those physical teams and games, and have played very well. Even though it's a 20-point loss here tonight for Pine City, there were a lot of aspects that they can look forward to and go forward with and say, hey, we did really well, and we can continue to work on this as we go forward. And as you heard Coach Kyle Allen mention, that they've got some things that they want to work on as well. So there will be some things that they look forward to working on, and some things that they've done really well that they will try to master here before the playoffs come next Thursday. Of course, more than likely they'll be on the road, but we'll wait and see. The seedings can be very strange for these sections when they come out with the seedings. Of course, like I said, last Saturday we saw Malacca, the girls team, was in 5th spot before they fell to Pine City, a very tough physical game. Then all of a sudden they dropped to that 8th seed when the seedings came out. So we'll have to wait and see where Pine City ends up. Right now they're currently the 11th team. I wouldn't be surprised if they do jump maybe a couple spots and get maybe a better opponent. But as of right now, they would go in on the road to face Sauk Center. No matter where they play, we'll be out there to cover that game. Of course, we will try to get out to cover as many of the local playoff teams that we can. We've only got so many people to stretch so far, so we will do our best to do and cover as many games as we can here this postseason. Looking at the stat leaders here for the Esko Eskimos, they did a good job of spreading the ball around. Leading the way, though, was Dalton Spindler with 17. He had a big second half. He had 10 of those points in the second half. And then 11 for Sam Haugen, 10 for Quinn Berger, 8 for both McCoy Parrish and Braden Male, 7 for Carter Zazulka, 6 for Jason Owens, 5 for Xander Gable, and 2 for Bryce Hip. And leading the way rebound-wise was Male or Male. Again, if it's male, I apologize, but usually when it's spelled that way, Male. But 6 rebounds, 5 for Spindler and Parrish. And then steal-wise, they had 5 of them here in the second half, 12 total. 4 of them came from Sam Haugen. They had 11 team fouls in the second half to give them a total of 20 in the game. On the other side for the Dragons, leading the way was Luke Wilson with 17, 11 for Lamont Sidney, 8 for Charlie Osmus, and then we go to 7 for Isaiah Haas, 4 for Mason Charles, 5 for Ashton Seals, and 2 for Riley Cummings. Leading the way rebound-wise was Lamont Sidney with 9, 7 for Cummings, 6 for Plajek, and 4 for Isaiah Haas. They did get 2 steals from Luke Wilson here in the second half. They ended the game with 12 total fouls, grabbing 9 of those here in the second half. So Pine City will await the seedings here Saturday, I'm guessing, Saturday afternoonish as well. The seedings will come out, but stay tuned to our website and Facebook as we'll keep you up to date as to who will play where and when. And when those seedings come out Saturday, we'll have an article up on Monday to tell you who plays where and when out of all of our local listening teams. Of course, the final there on that Embrace Orthodontics scoreboard, Pine City falls 74-54 in the regular season finale. Embrace Orthodontics, they will do all the insurance heavy lifting for you, and if you don't have insurance, you can ask about financing options. They'll find a plan to fit your budget at embracemn.com. Of course, I want to thank all of you who tuned in here tonight. Thanks so much for tuning in, whether you listened to this game on the radio or whether you watched on our YouTube. Thanks so much for tuning in. If you did watch on our YouTube, I want to encourage you to go ahead and click that red subscribe button on our YouTube page to subscribe and be subscribed to our YouTube. That way you can be notified. You'll get a notification anytime that we go live with a local sporting event. So hit that subscribe button, that red subscribe on the YouTube, and you will be notified anytime we go live with a local sporting event. Of course, thanks to all our fine sponsors who sponsored this fine broadcast and every other broadcast that we have done here this year. Thanks so much to them. And again, Pine City falls here this evening. Stay tuned to the morning shows on 95.5 FM KBK with Rockin' Robin Riley for your sports update at 7:30 and 8:30. Then over on 100.9 FM with Josh O'Meara at 7:45 and 8:45. Those are the times that you can catch your sports update and hear local scores from around the local listening area, as well as some regional sports scores and updates as well. Of course, as I mentioned before, stay tuned to our website and Facebooks for local updates and cancellations and articles on games that have happened. So stay tuned to those, and we will keep you updated as much and as best as we can. The final once again here from Pine City in their regular season finale. The Dragons fall to Esko 74-54. Again, I'm Ethan Game Day Gilman for WCMP. Remember, be kind to everyone. You never know what someone is going through, and your kindness could make their day. Again, Game Day Gilman for WCMP. Have a great rest of your night. Be kind to everyone. You never know what someone is going through, and your kindness could make their day. Again, Game Day Gilman for WCMP. Have a great rest of your night.